Tuesday, the 27th of August. What does it look like on the calendar of economic data for this week? We saw on Monday Nigeria's GDP numbers for the second quarter printing 3.19%, and that's around against 2.8%, which was delivered in the first quarter. But there's a whole lot more on the calendar as we get on to the end of the month. This week, we're also looking at the closure of Nigeria's $500 million domestic dollar-denominated bond, the first of such in Nigeria's market history. But let's get on the markets for equities for Monday. We started a little bit less than 1/10 in the green territory. The market in Lagos was helped by Dangote Sugar and Boa Cement, as well as some gains in the oil and gas sector, Owando and Eternal Oil, as well as a few gains in the the oil and gas sector. The insurance sector was up 1.1%. The banking sector was down 0.4%. That's the Nigeria's trading day summary on Monday. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire sank very sharply, 1.4%. The shares of Bank of Africa Senegal was down roughly 2%. The Bank of Africa Mali was down 2.6%. Ecobank International of Togo was down roughly 6%, 5.88%. We saw Orange shares also decline in the French-speaking West African bourse on Monday. That took the BRVM composite below the 250 to 249.33 reading. The Egyptian market started the rest of the week with the rest of the region about 0.25% in the green territory. That's the EGX 30,133. The Nairobi market was down 0.26%. South Africa was down 0.19%. Zimbabwe also fell yesterday. We saw the only gains within that region from Mauritius. The Sendex was up on Monday. Those are the market headlines, yes, on the equity side. Just summarize it for you. But let's get on to East Africa, where coffee prices is going up 13% in the 10 months till the end of June, because we saw global demand for coffee growing very strongly. Access Bank, of course, is concluding its capital raising and is looking to further acquisitions at the end of that. And Germany is donating 100,000 Mpox vaccine doses to combat the outbreak in Africa. There are also concerns about African summit taking place in the Asia Pacific and what that will mean for the health security concerns over there. And Ethiopia and Japan says they're looking to firm up their bilateral relations and collaborations and cooperations in the various economic sectors. Let me take it further. Let me take it further to West Africa and grab a few headlines for you. Talk about Nigeria's GDP, which is already out there. Manufacturing sector slumped, was very weak with the quarter under review. Quarter on quarter, it was down about 11.2% on a year-on-year basis. The sector was also in agriculture, eked out just 1.4% in the April to June period. On a container terminal, which has been rehabilitated for $150 million, this is expected to be recommissioned by Mr. President, Nigerian President, on Wednesday. And the total private equity and venture capital inflows into Africa was just below $1 billion, $900 million in the first 6 months of this year due to pressure across macroeconomic front on the continent. The EFDB and the African Union Commission are looking to develop initiative against malnutrition in Africa, while Liberia and the World Bank are trying to resolve the default of Liberia on debt obligations. The conversation still out there between the Liberia and West Africa and, of course, the World Bank. Let us get to see the Southern Africa's headlines. South Africa is looking at a new pension scheme, which is expected to grow the economy. In the meantime, Goldfields shares tumbled on earnings warnings release. Discovery New Bank is making strong moves, 30% growth in the number of total customers to 1 million in the first 6 months of this year, while Zimbabwe's inflation surges to 1.4% for the month of August. The data for July was a negative 0.1%. Food inflation to be blamed primarily for the latest figure that we have on our hands. In the meantime, the country is bracing for prolonged power cuts because of a technical glitch in the electricity in the power sector. And finally, Trustco Group Holdings of Namibia stopped its banking operations. Let me show you a couple of headlines in North Africa. Of course, Libya's shutting down the force majeure on its oil production and exports, shutting down at least 1.17 million barrels per day was a major issue yesterday. The market reacted in a knee-jerk reaction, $81 per barrel for the London Brent crude. That tapered a little bit to around $80 a barrel as of this morning. The US West Texas intermediate was trading around 79 $78 a barrel. In the meantime, Tunisian President Said has shuffled the cabinet ahead of a key presidential election in the next couple of months. And Morocco's blueberry exports soared 25%, and that's a record 67,300 tons. That's some good news. And finally, we're looking at Tunisia. Elections and what that will mean for the country's economy moving forward. And of course, those negotiations ongoing between Tunisia, the World Bank and the IMF. Let's see how that plays out as we see the countdown to the election and how things will go for the incumbent president, Said. And those are the headlines these Tuesdays to get you started for the second market day of the week. Have a great day, everyone.